Okay, welcome to the unboxing of a Ridgid 10-inch cast iron table saw. Model number is R4512. Okay, you gotta unbox this thing and see what's inside. Grab a pair of side snips, and here we go. Let's see what's in one of these things. There we go. Piece of cardboard. Everybody needs a piece of cardboard. Okay, what do we got here? Right here on the top, push stick. Okay, a plate. Owner's manual. I have to read that here in a minute. Looks like screws. And more screws. Let's see what goes in the light. Well, that's the screws. Alright. There you go. Looks like a nice one. Got protector. Couple of handles. Unsure what that is. Oh, Allen wrenches. Good. And don't eat me. Ratchet. Iron. What else is there? Let's see here. Oh, a wheel. Alright. Some plastic covers. Looks like for the ends of the rods here. But that's what that is. Because there's the other one there. Covers. That is the kickback protection. This is also kickback protection. I'm not sure what happened to that piece on my old saw. Those in there. Back there. Back there. That goes there, that goes there. There. Now. Oh, what are these? Oh, looks like for setting on the side of the thing to put stuff on. Handles of some sort. There. Now I'm going to pull that piece of foam off and see what's underneath. So, I'm going to turn this off and start over. Okay, so I picked it up and I just set it over there, and I didn't notice that the gate is also in here, so that's good. Yes, I have a small shop. Can't do all this in there. Anyway, so it looks like, now there's more of a beam. Looks like it's a two-piecer. And then this, it's like a trap for your sawdust. Oh, hey, that's cool. That's cool. So, I bought the other day this for $5, which is way cool, or $6. There we go. Central Machinery, item number 45794, table saw, dust bag. Most places they were like $30-40. I knew it was only $5. So I bought myself one. I'm going to attach it to this thing. I've always had a little small space to work in, so I've had a piece of paper under there, and then my table saw is on those wheels, and so the dust would just collect on the paper, and then I'd have to try to vacuum it out, which was always a pain in the neck. So this time I'm going to be sophisticated and try to use that and go from there. This is my old table saw. It's an Ohio Forge 10-inch table saw Pro Series. I don't know, bought it in the 1990s. Well, this says printed in Taiwan, date was 06, so June of 1989. There you go. That's how old my table saw was. Anyway, I guess it's time for a new one, huh? Alright, so that's cool. That'll drop that right down into that bag. Anyway, so there it is. There's the table. Looks like it's in here upside down. Alright. And then these must be the legs over here. Okay, so legs. I'm not sure what this is. Oh, that's a leaf. That's one leaf. Where's the other leaf? Not sure what this... Oh, that's the on-off button. And what else do we got down there? I don't know. We'll have to figure that out here in a minute. Alright. And I don't know. I'm going to have to look at the directions here. Yes, I do read instructions. That looks like some sort of foot pedal. I wonder if this thing has wheels. Casters of some sort. That'd be cool. I wouldn't have to use mine. Alright. Doesn't look like it would have them, but it might. Okay, well, hey, I'm going to get some help to pull this top piece out and go from there. Set it on the floor in here. Alright, page 12, or page 17, excuse me. Figure 12. Assembling the leg stand. Locate the following parts. The 4 leg pieces, which are right there. 4 outer corners. Oh, that's what those pieces are, okay. From the small fastener pack, locate the following parts. 24 bolts, M16 times 10. Place... Alright, well, you don't really need me to read all this to you. But that's what we're going to do now. Okay, found all the parts. So now it's time to put them all together. I got the base all put together. Looks pretty good. Last thing I have to do is put the one final foot on here. There we go. And I guess we'll flip it over. There we go. And there's the base for the table saw. Looks pretty good. It is, I will admit, it is nice and sturdy. And I found out while reading the manual it does have wheels. How about that? Alright, looks good. Where to from here? Gotta read the manual. Alright, so I got the bag attached. At first I tried to make it look pretty by putting, you know, all these in a straight line. That didn't work. Because the bag was not gonna go quite that far. So I ended up having to go down on each of the 4 corners of the bag to make it fit, but it fits. So, and it's been raining outside, so everything is now in my little 10 by 20 shop, which means, as you can see, it is well packed. So putting this thing together in here is going to be fun now, I'll tell ya. But oh well, I got a bag in my thing. That's really cool. Okay, well, according to the manual, the next thing you do is, after you do the legs, you got to get the actual table saw out of here. And then you got to put it on 2 pieces of wood so that you can put extensions onto it. Okay, so there's the 2 extensions. From here I'm going to attach the 2 sides. By the way, it weighs 245 pounds. I think most of that's right there in front of you, because the motor on this one is inside. Yeah, I think most of the weight on this saw, I think most of that weight is right there in that motor. and all that cast iron and steel, which is really cool, but weighs a lot. So if you're going to do this with one of these Ridgid saws, make sure you get somebody to help you do this if you can. So I got the side down there, starting to mount it, and according to the manual, the big holes go up against the table saw top. And then it says make sure that the sides are aligned with the top. Alright, so now it's time to put the casters on. So take these things out of the plastic and figure out how they go according to the manual here, and we'll go from there. Oh, I dropped those. Okay, so the next step was putting on the wheels and the casters. You really have to pay attention to the angle here. You got this nifty bar here that, like right now, it's in the out of the way position. You would flip it down like that, and then the tires present themselves so you can roll it around. Yeah, let's see if I can do that. And then there you go, now they're out of the way again. So hopefully my little bag will sit right on top of that. Okay, got the help from my son. We got this thing rotated up, and it's kind of a beast. Anyway, it looks good. It's the right height for me anyway. So the foot thing, it looks like what you do is you push down on it, it locks it into place, and then it rolls free. Which I'm going to use it in this orientation, so I might as well leave it there. Also, oil. Oil. The top of this was covered by this piece of plastic, and there is a ton of oil under there, so I'm going to use that, put it on my old table saw so it doesn't rust while I'm trying to sell it. Anyway, then once you get it to where you want it to be, you undo it and it drops down into place. It's a little rough, but at least you can move it. So anyway, now to go to the next step in the book, since I got it upright, which would be some more assembly. And I was kind of wondering about the power button down there, but that you don't put together until you put the rails on the side here. So now it looks like buttons and knobs. I got the side rail, or the back rail on, and the front rail, and now I'm going through the motions of making sure that they are aligned. And to do that, you have to use the rip fence. But there are hex screws that you get that you slide in here, and then they have a bolt on the underside that holds them in place. On the back side, it's not the same thing. You have a bolt and a nut that holds it into place. And then in the middle, there's no nut, it's just a bolt. On this side, it is a bolt and a nut again. So you got to get it in place, then you got to get your fence on there and make sure that everything's where it's supposed to be. Got all the handles on, and I'm just doing the alignment now that I got that thing out. Okay, well, here it is, it's complete. So the last thing I installed was the spreading arm, which is this bar that goes from here to here. Okay, and then the power button, which goes right there. Now getting the rails on here was a little bit tricky because you have to make sure that your bar doesn't touch here or down here, and so that took a little bit of adjusting. And what I did was I used an aluminum level to because I mean obviously we're assuming that this is flat and level, so make sure that everybody was level all the way across there. Same down there. Now I did have to lower it just a tiny bit in the far corner there because it was still touching. This back rail has a lip right here, so you push that lip all the way up against the bottom of the table here, and so it kind of sits in its own position. It's not like you can move it around a lot, so the only thing you can adjust is the side table here. Anyway, so once I got that into position here a few minutes ago, it looks pretty good. Curious to see how this thing works, so went ahead and installed a blade. It comes with a blade, which is really cool, and a couple of tools. They hide them down there. I did not use that blade, obviously. Then you can store your stuff here. There's the push stick that they give you. I make my own. I like this style of a kind of a shoe thing. Started using it in high school. I'm really used to it. Make them for different levels of wood, depending. And then sometimes I just keep using them until they fall apart, and then go on to a brand new one later. But I've never used one of those kind, so I'm not really sure how that's going to go. Nice thing is the table came with a lot of grease on it, or oil, to keep it from rusting. And my old table did not have a reeving knife. This thing back here, and you're supposed to put it into a locked position. There you go. Locked position. Let's see, it's unlocked by pulling it up, locked when it's down, and it's in the down position for non-through cuts, and in the up position for all other cutting operations. So you move it up, this thing is allowed to float. There you go, there you can see it better. So it floats back and forth a little bit. When it's down, when you lock this thing into position, like so, it freezes that thing. That thing is right in solid position. So anyway, I'm curious to see how that works since I've never used one of those before. But anyway, put on a nice 10-inch blade. Oh, and I also leveled this guy out just a little bit. It was off, not much, but enough. Again, checked it with the aluminum level here on both front, back, and length, and then used the screws that you can see right down in here to go ahead and level it out, which is a nice feature. I like that. My old one, I had to take that off, which it was a real knuckle banger. Every time I did it, I had to put the blade all the way down, reach all the way inside, reach in from the back, and push up, and hope I didn't rip my knuckles up on my blade. So so this is a nice feature. I like that. I also like the fact that these go all the way to the end. My other one did not. They stopped, let's see, about right there, and they were not connected to the sides at all. And so my side panels could float all they wanted to, and I noticed eventually that they were getting scrapes on the side, so I kept having to push them down because they would bow up. I'm going to go ahead and get it plugged in and fire it up and see how this thing works now that I've got it all together. To turn on your saw, with the switch key inserted into the switch, lift the switch button to the on position. Okay, so let's do this. Let's put this thing, that's upside down. Let's put, whoops, not even showing you what I'm doing. Here we go, there we go. Okay, so push it in. Alright, here we go, maiden voyage. Oh, it sounds good anyway. Not bad. So I guess that's a safety feature if you want to lock your saw. That's how to put together a Ridgid, what comes in the box and everything else.